Let's start with this. We mentioned we're a year after this, more than a year. How much progress have prosecutors made in their investigation, and law enforcement in general, I should say?
John, an enormous amount, but there's a long way to go also. As of today, there are 700 plus federal defendants from the U.S. Capitol attack. But as of today, only about 170 of them have pleaded guilty, and only a few dozen have been sentenced. There are a lot of open cases, and there are likely dozens, if not hundreds, more arrests to go. What's more, John and Courtney, there have been 0 trials so far, in part because the federal justice system moves slowly, but also because of COVID. The courthouse is under restrictions. They really can't bring jurors in, and there's so much evidence, so many phones, videos, social media posts, weapons to look through. The prosecutors are still trying to get that organized and then get it to the defense attorneys and get it to the court.
And with all those defendants, we know that you are tracking some of the local cases with defendants that have ties to our community. What are you hearing about the progress on those cases?
Courtney, by our informal account right now, there's about 50 of the 700 defendants from California. Obviously the most populated state, but also quite a good distance from Washington, D.C. But there are some uniquely high-profile defendants from California. Let's start with the fact that there are accused far-right group members accused of conspiracy, plotting, and planning. The accused 3 percenters who made the trip by car from California here to the Capitol, according to the feds. But a distinctive case actually from Southern California that I'm watching. A former DEA agent, a federal agent named Mark Ibrahim, who, according to the feds, brandished his badge and his gun near the Capitol on January 6th. One of a growing number of defendants accused of actually being armed while near the Capitol on January 6th. His case comes back to court on Tuesday. I'll be here. We'll be watching it.
So, I mean, beyond the obvious, which is the politics of these people that were there, what are you finding as a common thread among the people who have been charged?
There are several. Let me focus on 2. First of all, let's go back to Mark Ibrahim of California. Law enforcement ties. There are a growing number of defendants with law enforcement ties. A Chicago police officer, a Houston police officer, 2 rural Virginia police officers, and a retired New York police officer. But also military, an active duty U.S. Marine, dozens and dozens of military veterans. And that last point is not incidental. Law enforcement officials, John and Courtney, say far-right groups tend to recruit military because of their experience planning and their ability to be influencers, to recruit more from their community.
That is very interesting. Scott, before we let you go, let me say welcome to the CBS family. I used to watch you during some of my time in Washington, D.C., and we're very fortunate to have you, so welcome.